Gunny Highway just continues as we progress in, through the second act of this movie. He proceeds to really, he knows he's got to break these men down before he can build them up, and he introduces the AK-47, the assault, the choice weapon of most of their enemies, and he wants to really familiarize these guys with what they might be in store for one day in real battle. So with that in mind, trying to get them to think for themselves and figure out which colored t-shirt he's going to be wearing each day. He says they must learn to adapt, improvise, overcome. He's teaching them these core values of what Marines need to know. And this is just unfolding. Still, he's got a bunch of screwheads that are really, really angry with him for what he's putting them through. And they again, for the third time now, talk about wait till the Swede gets here. He's going to take care of Gunny. And so a little more of that foreshadowing, the build-up. We're at the 50-minute mark in this film. And you just feel something bubbling to the top here. Clint Eastwood and his showdown with Pete Koch, Gunny Highway, and the Swede. It's bound to happen. Well, you know it was coming, and it's technically speaking, it's at about the 52-minute mark where the Swede is introduced to our audience to the chant by his cohort, Swede, 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 Swede. There he is, yours truly. Just to set the record, I suppose. I'm 6'6". At the time that I shot that scene, I was about 300 pounds. It's about the heaviest I've ever been. And I was a defensive end with the Kansas City Chiefs during that time. I shot this film in the off season. So I was actually worked on this film for 5 weeks. I was asked to work for 6 weeks. There was some scenes that I couldn't get to because I had to go back to Kansas City in training camp, begin my next NFL season. Clint Eastwood, I knew about this, and he was kind enough to maneuver their schedule a little bit. I think I only missed one scene, and there wasn't any dialogue. So and everybody was accommodating. All the actors were great. So my playing weight at that time was about 280 pounds. So I was above my playing weight. During the filming of this movie, I gained weight. The food was amazingly good. Clint Eastwood is famous for eating very, very healthy food and making sure that everybody's working with him is going to eat healthy. And so the food was great. I ate too much of it during the filming. The weather in San Diego was incredibly hot. It was a heat wave, and it was typically it was between 95 and 105 degrees every single day, and very, very hot the week that we shot in Vieques, a small island off of Puerto Rico, where we shot the battle scenes, the war scenes. It was very hot, very humid there. So we were all kind of pushing back against dehydration this whole time, but still the food was great. The days were long, and I didn't have a chance to do the running. I really didn't have a chance to do the running I wanted and needed to do to get ready for the season. But I was keeping up my strength training. Clint Eastwood had arranged so that myself and anybody really who wanted it was part of the cast, including Mario Van Peebles, that we had access to the weight training facility there at Camp Pendleton. And in fact, Clint Eastwood joined us on a number of occasions, which is pretty cool. So I can say not only did I act with Clint Eastwood, but I also worked out with him while we did the filming. So Clint Eastwood was, give or take a year, was my age when we shot this film. So as I make this this movie review, I'm 55 years old, and Clint Eastwood was 54 or 55 years old when he shot Heartbreak Ridge, right? So it's just about 30 years ago now. So it's kind of interesting to look back on that now, kind of take a look at him and take a look in the mirror. But it was just part of such a remarkable experience. And again, the scenes look great. I smile every time I hear people chant Swede. Technically speaking, we had a very hot day. It was over 100 degrees inside the barracks where we shot. And we not only had to be careful for the actors' safety, but you've got a big crew. And you got to make sure that the camera people and the grips and the gaffers, that you don't want anybody, you could get hurt. It was that hot, so we kept everybody hydrated. We tried to move quickly to accommodate everybody and get them breaks and get them outside and get them some air. But the reveal scene where I walk into the barracks, we did 3 takes. So that was a simple reveal, 3 takes. That's how we shot that scene. And then it was the guys chanting around me. And so we shot everything on me first. Technically speaking, when we shot the scene, the first part of that scene was I walk in. I've got the towel around my neck, the guys are chanting, so I walk in. We did that twice just to get everybody in exactly the right position. Just 2 takes on that. The next is probably the single most important bit of filmmaking as far as the Swede character is concerned. And what happened was Clint Eastwood was discussing with again, remember, Clint Eastwood was the director of this film, so he's doing both. And he was having a discussion with the director of photography, and they had the camera basically at the level of my eyes. So that was basically how I was going to be revealed. So I walked in, the guys around me kind of push out a little bit, and then as you can see my entire body. And then the scene was I'm gonna deliver my line. And again, we're just blocking this, which means it's it's a rehearsal for the crew and the actors, but we're not saying anything yet. And here's what's so important. Mario Van Peebles says, "Excuse me, Clint, I have an idea, if you don't mind." Clint says, "Yeah, go ahead." And he says, "What if we did this? What if you did this? You took the camera from here. No, you brought it way down to the ground. And then you started low on the Swede and you panned up." And Clint thinks about it and he goes, "Let's do it." We had to go get some additional, the camera guys had to go get some additional equipment because they weren't prepared for that shot. They set it up, asked me to stand there, took a look at it. Clint says, "This looks great, let's do one." So we did, again, just twice. We did this to make sure that everybody safely had this scene. Great. That reveal, that's the real power in revealing the Swede character is right there, because it shows my size, again, 6'6", 300 pounds. Okay, from there they get the camera up high, they've got that shot in the can. We'll go into my dialogue. "I'm gonna rip your head off and shit down your neck." And 2 takes on that. The rehearsal, and 1 rehearsal before then. During the rehearsal, I was bigger. I was like way bigger. And I was like, "I'm gonna rip your head off and shit down your neck." And Clint says, "You don't need all that. Look at you, just be you. That's all we need." Okay, and then he said, not even another rehearsal, he goes, "Let's just put the camera on, go." And Clint Eastwood famously, he doesn't say action, he says, "Go," or "Begin." And I say, and I'm bringing it down. I'm intensity is there. I'm just bringing the vocal is down. "I'm gonna rip your head off and shit down your neck." I said it slower. I slowed it down. I did 1 more take. Let me slow it down. "I'm gonna rip your head off and shit down your neck." 2 takes, total of about 2 minutes, less than 2 minutes. Great. Let's move on to the next shot. The action, grabs my thumb, gets me in control, punches Swede in the head, looks bad. All the guys take off. I stand up. "Gunny, I'll wait for the MPs to take me to the brig," something like that. We did, again, 2 takes of that. He says no, and I I forgot Clint's line, we're going to turn you into a Marine, or something like this. But this is a pivotal moment. This is, I mean, all this stuff, I knew I didn't have more dialogue, not much later in the movie. So everything was really important here. And I've got, I tried in my performance to elicit the fact and the look and the feeling, the emotion, the reality that no one's given me this chance before. This is a first for me. I mean, have I screwed up before? Plenty of times. Has somebody given me a chance before and believed in me? No. No, this was new to me. Off I go. Next thing you know, I'm being a real Marine. He gave me that chance. So, as the metaphor, I mean, that was my chance. Clint Eastwood gave me a chance. Pete Koch, the actor, gave me this chance. And there was Gunny Highway giving Swede a chance. So it's just magical. And I'll never forget it. And it's out there for folks to see time and time again. And Clint Eastwood, as both a director and an actor, was incredibly generous to me. He's 3 years older than me, so I was 24. God bless Mario, you know, for saying that. And it was a pivotal moment, and that a guy that's just another actor who's a young actor saying to Clint, just looking at me, Clint, if we put the camera there, and Clint goes, yeah. And just think for a second, Jack. Like this, it was going to be shot like this. I walked in, the towel's on my neck, and we trade dialogue. Versus, I walk in, towel's on my neck, cut, boom, here's food. Godzilla. It's a whole different scene.